What's up guys, in this video we're going to be playing the new Challenger 7 Memorial Course in Webster, Texas. We are playing from the short tees, but we're playing blind, so if you see any questionable shots, that's probably why. This right here is hole 1. It's a par 3, about 320 feet. You really just want to go straight at it, because if you finish to the left, like Vince is here, you're going to have a little pinched off. Cody throws us in here. He also is going to finish left, and you'll see why you don't want to be over there in a second. This is pretty much how you want to throw this hole. Just dead straight at it, flip up a little, right over there. Vince, as you can see, finished a little left. It's a little pinched off. He's got a little forehand approach, touchy up shot. Puts it in the basket really good. This is what the rough looks like on this hole. It's pretty brutal in there. Jonathan with about a 20-footer, 25-foot. Get the birdie on hole 1. You definitely want to score early on this course. The later holes get a little more difficult. So going into hole 2, it's about 330 something feet. It's a pretty stock flat to fade hyzer shot. I threw it horribly, nose up. Cody throws a pretty good one here. Getting the fade, ended up just a little bit short there.
Nice shot.
Jonathan throwing his crisp bar-dyed Firebird, you'll see a lot of. Early release finishes parade tee far left. Vince trying out a new disc here. I think it flipped up a little more than he thought it would. Fades on over there. Not bad. This is what I'm left with after my horrible tee shot. It's about 80 foot, should be a nice easy up, but I hit the tree. Vince with the jumper. This should be one of the easier holes on the course. I mean, if you got 330 foot of distance. I mean, it's just a straight, fairly wide open shot. Jonathan, putting from knee, doesn't really have much from where he's at with the lower ceiling. So here's everybody tapping out for pars.
Nice putt.
Except Cody, he got a bogey. Hole 3 is the first tight line you gotta throw. About 280 feet. You do need to throw it through this little gap here and let it fade soft. As you can see, I swung it a little wide. Got a nasty little kick. Jonathan going with the crisp bar dyed midi, I believe. Hit the line pretty decently. A little low though. Vince here. Little grip lock, late release. Over there in the nasty stuff with me. Cody throwing a decent shot here. Fades a little early and is a little low, so it doesn't get all the way to the basket, but not too bad. Vince not having much. The rough doesn't look like much, but the thorns really restrict what you're able to do. I was trying to get a little aggressive there. Try to save par. Vince with a nice little forehand.
We got for the par save?
Throws it in for the par save. Nice little throw in.
Look at him run.
That's probably 120, 150 feet. Somewhere around there. Jonathan stepper. A little short. We're all about to tap out.
Yeah.
My bogey right there. Everybody else parred. So hole 4 is the first par 4. It's really wide open. pretty much go to the right. You want to just put anything out there. Really great shot from Jonathan. Vince going with the forehand here. Burns it over. Rolls over to the middle. Still got like 400 in or something like that. It's a long hole. You pretty much just put anything out there and you'll be alright. The only thing you don't want to do is finish left. Of course, that's exactly what I do here. Nose up, fade super left, straight into the thorns. Vince with another forehand. First couple of the day he rolled his wrist. Cody with his upshot. He's lucky he didn't get into the thorns like I did here.
Alright, now it's pitching out.
Don't have much. Looks wide open, but the thorns, like I said earlier, they really restrict what you're able to do in there. Jonathan throwing his Firebird again. Probably about 350 out, I want to say. Swings it a little too wide, doesn't get the fade all the way over. I'm a little closer. Throwing my EMAC Truth. Nice little turn. I thought that was under the basket. Ended up being like a 35-40 footer. Vince going very overstable. Not sure if he judged the distance right there. Little grip lock ends up in those trees.
Yeah.
Vince probably a 60 footer. Jonathan ended up behind this tree having to throw this weird turnover putt.
What?
Cody under the trees, just trying to pitch out.
Put out.
And then this is about 40 foot for the par. Needed that one. Jonathan about 25. Another good putt. Cody tapping out. Hole 5, 240 something feet. Blind shot into the little cubby. John's throwing an A2. Ends up going long into the thick stuff. I'm throwing a zone. Swung it in there really nice. Cody also throwing a zone. And also throwing it in there, getting it into the little cubby real nice. Vince, I believe, is going with a voodoo here. A lot of hyzer, a lot of height.
Swinging it wide.
He skips on in there, good height. Jonathan, not really left with anything, going long. There's the roller. Really good roller.
Nice. Nice shot.
Probably 15 footer.
Nah, you should be able to make that.
Vince with his birdie look.
Slow down, Carter.
Cody with the birdie.
Nice bird.
Jonathan tapping out the par. Vince tapping out the par. And the drop-in birdie for me. So hole 6, it says it's par 5. It is a par 4 on U-disc. We are playing to the A position. It is 489. So you basically just want to flip something up to flat, straight down there, get past that big tree, and then you should have a pretty easy forehand in. I got super lucky through that tree there.
Drop.
Also getting pretty lucky. Somebody saying drop. Gets the drop. Center fairway. Jonathan throwing this is really well. He's punished for it. Just a little too much height. Kick straight down. Vince, not as lucky as me. Josue just finally showed up.
First throw out the car. That's in her fairway.
Here's the rough, so Vince trying to get out of the rough and just doesn't even make it out. This course can punish you in some situations. Sometimes you can get lucky and have a nice little window to throw out of. Other times not so much. Vince is struggling on this hole. Jonathan with the forehand, trying to play the skip, but he hits a little stump in the fairway and got that weird little bounce there.
All right.
So we thought this was a par 5. So I think Josue would have gotten a little more aggressive with that had we known it was a par 4 going in. Vince throwing what looked like it was a really good shot. Got a nasty little kick off the stump. Josue probably throwing the best forehand of his career and hitting a tree. Cody going back to that zone approach.
Skittle over there.
Gets a nice little ground play. Gets next to the basket. Vince.
You got razzed. No, that was first par save.
These are all probably about 80 to 100 footers. Josue with a nice little bid.
Ooh.
Thought he was gonna make that. Cody with a good putt. A little celebration here.
This dude is.
Jonathan with straddle. Nice little putt from about 20.
Putt.
Vince also 15, 20 foot.
Putt.
So we're just tapping out. Now hole 7, playing in the A position, but it's definitely a lot longer than it says it is. It's about 440 feet. On this hole, you really want to get it to that left side of the fairway so you have a look at the basket, but you need to get it about 250 feet down the fairway and then go left. Unfortunately, none of us were able to get to the landing zone, especially not Johnny here. Josue with an unlucky kick. Thought it was going to be a lot worse than it ends up being. Vince watched everybody throw pretty bad shots and decided to go putter. Jonathan taking his medicine. Josue, like I said, not as bad as we thought it was. The kick looked horrible off the tee. Jonathan throwing his third right here, trying to get up and down to save his par, so he's throwing a pretty aggressive line here.
That's probably really good.
I'm just trying to get back to the middle of the fairway. Where I land after this shot is pretty much where you want your drive to land to have a look for birdie. $10 minutes just to get off this hole. This was a rough one. We were all struggling. Vince with a kick back to the middle. I'm going my third shot here. So where I'm at right now is where you want to land off the tee. I mean, it leaves you with about 250 in through a tight little tunnel. Vince just hitting every tree in the fairway. Yeah, we were really just struggling on this hole, trying to get it down the fairway. It's probably a 20-foot wide fairway. It's not I've recently played it since. It's not as hard as we made it look. It's not easy by any means, but this is a bad showing. Alright, so we're finally getting close to the green.
That's wrong.
And that was my 4th shot. This is Cody's 4th shot. Jonathan, I think, is on his 6th or 7th shot right here, I believe. Vince giving that a nice little run. That was a bogey putt. Rough hole, very rough hole for the card.
Nice putt.
We had 2 bogeys, 2 doubles, and a triple. Finally getting off that hole. Alright, on to hole 8. We are playing in the B position from the shorts. It is only about 300 feet. There's water all right, so I'm trying to throw a hyzer out there. Swing it a little wider than I wanted, and go OB. Cody takes it even wider than I did, and is also into the water OB. Josue finally somebody's keeping it in bounds. Barely. Jonathan throwing a rock 3, I believe. Putting it right under the basket. Really great shot.
Nice shot.
Vince, I think, gets scared here of all the OB shots and goes super overstable.
Oh.
Super far left.
Very safe.
Nice little, just put it under the basket. Cody, grip blocking. Into the water. Not really making a correction. Into the water again. Finally correcting. And gets it, throws a dry shot inbounds. Vince kind of turning that on Annie. Not fading. Cody giving it a run. Somebody sword fighting in the shadows. Let's wait for the birdie putt. Tap in par for Josue. Vince laying up. I'm pretty sure in the future that path will be played as OB, but this was our first time playing and we didn't play it as OB. Alright, John's with the birdie, everybody else take pretty large numbers there. Alright, hole 9. Hole 9's a good hole. You wanna it splits into 2 fairways down at the end. Depending on what you want to throw is, kind of determines what your tee shot is. Jonathan scaring that deer, hitting that tree. Josue here throws what looks like is going to be a pretty decent shot. Skips off to the side. I saw that, I decided to go even wider. And I thought I was good. I threw a fairway wide. And I take this massive skip from the center. Vince throwing a more low, straighter line. Dropping straight down from that tree. Cody taking a similar line to Vince. And gets the perfect skip straight in the middle of the fairway.
A shot, center fairway.
Vince with the slip out early release forehand there. Jonathan going through the right gap. Throws a perfect shot. Slides on up there. Pretty good shot there. Cody going forehand through the left gap. Rolls it a little. Rolls the wrist. Josue trying to go big over everything. Lands in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, that's not good.
I have about 250 left. I try to get aggressive, try to make up some strokes. Roll the wrist. Vince pitching out, trying to give himself a better look. Cody lining up a awkward little tree in the way forehand. I think it messes with him. I'm trying to get up and down for my par, throw a nice little forehand. Put it in circle one. Just gotta make a putt. Vince. This is for par, I believe.
Nice shot.
Throws a great shot, lands right under the basket. Josue ended up in the woods. He pitched out through the backside right there. So that was
Easy
his
up.
fourth shot, I believe. Jonathan the birdie putt. Good putt,
Nice
good bird.
bird.
This is for my par save. I think it's about 20 foot, 25 foot. It's par, Josue with, I think, a bogey. So that's how we finished through the front nine. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Back nine's coming soon.